Good morning, everyone. I am coming to you live from the design lab. Rather than asking you all to attend an informational meeting, which would require you to be here before school, after school for an evening, I've developed a new way to do my Costa Rica presentation, which allows you to be in the comfort of your home or office, look through this, watch it, and then, of course, ask me questions via email, in person. However you would like to do that is completely fine, but just to get the information to you in a simple, straightforward way so that we can get your children enrolled in their 8th grade trip to Costa Rica. So I'm going to take you through the presentation here and go through each of the sections that I would normally present in person, and then give you information about how to secure the spot, get the best price, lock in the lowest price that's available right now. This is, of course, more than a year away, but the earlier we get this process started, the more value there is for you. So the tour is called Conservation in Costa Rica. We've been doing this tour now for years with a very trusted travel partner, EF Tours, which is Education First. They're fantastic. They have an office right here in Denver. I have a local tour consultant that I work with. We have been, again, working together for 8 or 9 years now, kind of perfecting and tweaking and changing this until it was exactly what I wanted for the 8th grade trip. It's been a fantastic experience every single year. So let's talk about what I will go over with you, sort of why we're traveling, what the tour is all about, a little bit more about EF, the safety side of things, what's included, what isn't, and then again how to reserve that spot for your child. So back when, okay, let's think about this. 2013 would have been the year that we had our inaugural class in 8th grade. So it was the 2013-2014 school year. So we took our first trip to Costa Rica in that spring, and we designed the trip around the idea that rather than traveling for the sake of just having a capstone trip, we really felt that doing a service learning tour was what felt best for us. It's an IB program. Service is part of what we have embedded into the curriculum and part of the culture of the school. So it worked out really, really nicely because Costa Rica is, of course, very safe to travel to from Denver, same time zone, which is awesome, easy to get to, and has a really meaningful and wonderful project there that we've now been able to contribute to for 4 or 5 years in a row, where the students are reforesting mangroves, cleaning up the beaches, and actually enforcing the shoreline on the central Pacific coast of Costa Rica. And so your children will be able to go and see trees that were planted years ago by our inaugural class, who are freshmen in college now. So it's very special and really meaningful. Of course, you all know how important international travel is. Many of you do that on a regular basis. Many of you have lived, worked, or were born overseas. And so giving the students the opportunity to grow, to develop into global citizens is really important. So that's why this trip has actually worked out beautifully for us. It has fulfilled everything that we want for the students in the sort of the end part of their 8th grade year. So conservation in Costa Rica involves sort of 3 parts. We do fly into San Jose. Denver does have direct flights to San Jose, but EF Tours works with the big box airlines, as I call them. So United, American. So almost always we will fly into either Houston or Dallas, have a layover, and then fly to San Jose. Still, flight time very, very short, quick flights, easy, again, same time zone. So very simple and straightforward travel. When they arrive in San Jose, we stay overnight, 1 night there, and then they transfer to the Central Pacific Coast. This is the Playa Palo Seco area where the reforestation project happens. So this is their service work for these 3 days. Once that is wrapped up, they transfer to the Arenal region. And if you're familiar with Costa Rica, there's an active volcano. It's dormant, but you can definitely see some things happening up there from time to time. It also has a lake that sort of overlooks that area. It's really beautiful. This is where they do a lot of their service, or excuse me, not service. This is where they do a lot of their ecotourism activities. So the zip lining, kayaking, they visit a hot springs, they get to sort of travel the area and be ecological tourists, which is really enjoyable for them as well. Back to San Jose for the night before they leave, big celebration, closing dinner, and then flying out the next day. So let's talk about the first few days. These pictures are actually from our cameras. These are our alumni here. This is not inaugural class, it's the next class after that. So these are the students who, maybe this is inaugural class. No, it's the next generation back. Okay, so these are the ones that are graduating from high school this year and going off to college. So you see here the nursery. They're going to be collecting seed pods, cataloging them, measuring them. They get nice and dirty. It's very hard work. They will plant mangroves, also take care of the area around there, clean up the beach, making sure that the nursery is well taken care of. And while they're here, they also get to visit Manuel Antonio National Park. Absolutely beautiful area, lots of wildlife there, fantastic beach. They get a nice ocean day, which is needed, especially after working so hard. So one of the afternoons after their service work, they'll be able to go over to this national park. All right, so that's in the Central Pacific Coast area. When they transfer out to the Arenal region, as you see here, is kayaking on the lake, the zip lining, hiking to the waterfall, and then, of course, a school visit. So there is another part of the service where they visit a local school. We'll collect some school supplies ahead of the trip, go and donate those items, get to know the children, do a little cultural exchange, which is wonderful. There's also some optional excursions in this area where we can visit a coffee plantation, see how chocolate is made, sort of from bean to bar. Just a really amazing part of the trip where they really get to be in the wildlife. This part of Costa Rica is absolutely breathtaking and a really nice way to wrap up the week. So I mentioned that we've been working with EF now for years. They are a trusted partner of ours. They are an education company, so they are accredited. It's really about learning. So you probably have heard of EF before. If you haven't, you'll hear about them more now that you're familiar, because as the students move into high school, many of the high schools use EF for their educational travel as well. They are the best travel company to work with, and their support team is second to none. We do travel privately. What that means is that we pay a little bit of extra to be allowed to travel just with our own school group and not be combined with groups from other schools. This way, our tour director is dedicated just to our students and our group. We are in the hotel almost always on our own. When we travel places, we're not combined with other people. Our bus is just ours. It works really, really nicely for what we want and our needs. The travel window, as you'll see here, is Saturday, March 14th to Sunday, March 22nd of 2020. Now, that's our requested date. We do have to keep in mind some flexibility there. We could leave as early as the Friday before, which is March 13th, coming back as late as the Monday, which is March 23rd. If you're looking at these dates now, I know this is more than a year out, and there is a holiday, a family event, something major in your life or your child's life that would impact them not being able to be on this trip, please let me know, because I have enough notice now that I can adjust these dates, not in a significant way, but I can move them a little bit. So please send me an email to hope@isdenver.org if there is any issue that you see that's glaring right now based on what you know for your calendar for 2020. These dates will be officially confirmed 110 days prior to departure, which means basically in early December of this year, we will know this is the day we're flying out, this is the day we're getting back. And so more often than not, I would say there's only been one time where we haven't gotten our requested dates. So it's a popular time for travel. March tends to be spring break for other schools, so it's pretty easy for EF to secure those dates for us. As far as safety is concerned, we do have a 24/7 tour director with EF, and then there's a group leader that has been trained by EF to run things on the student side, and that's me. So next year I will be group leading the tour to Costa Rica with your students, and then I will have either 4 or 5 chaperones from IS Denver along with me. So our own staff that will come with us. For every 6 students that is enrolled with the tour, EF pays for that chaperone. So it is a 6-to-1 ratio, which is incredible. And then, of course, 24-hour on-call service. So EF is available to us around the clock if there's anything that we need. And they do a really good job of keeping in touch with us and making sure that everything's running really smoothly. There is a insurance program that EF does called Global Travel Protection, and we do ask that all of the students enroll in this. This will protect them from tour cancellation, interruption, any illness, anything that happens with the baggage, delays in flights, things like that. So I haven't really had to use it, but it's really nice to know that it's there just in case. So what are you responsible for? We'll talk about the total tour costs in just a minute, but when the students are on tour, they will need to have spending money with them. And it's just for additional expenses. For example, a free time activity, a souvenir, a snack. All of their meals are included. So they've got breakfast, lunch, and dinner once they're in Costa Rica, but traveling to Costa Rica that day, getting back, baggage fees, of course. So $25 for a checked bag is kind of standard to fly from the US to Costa Rica. And then any passport fees. You'll want to take a look at your child's passport and make sure that it's valid through the end of 2020. So it needs to be valid for 6 months after our departure. So making sure that it's, you don't have it expiring in 2020. If you do, you may want to think about doing a renewal so that it doesn't cause any issues as far as them traveling on this tour in the spring. Okay, no visas required at all. Non-US citizens have not ever been asked for special documentation. If your child holds a non-US passport, it's no problem. Almost always, we have had students with non-US passports on tour with us. Chaperones, we make sure we have at least one person who is non-US citizen as well, who will go through that separate passport line with them to ensure everything goes smoothly. They're on a school tour. We have a detailed itinerary. It's very clear why they're leaving the country and coming back, so it's never been an issue for us as far as them leaving and coming back in. But just so that you know, in case that affects your family, we're prepared to handle that, and there are no visas required at all for Costa Rica. Okay, so what is included in the tour cost? So all of the airfare, the transportation, which is an air-conditioned coach bus, takes us where we need to go, all of our hotel rooms, 3 meals a day for the entire trip, the educational itinerary, the guided tours, any entrance fees into places that we go, like the national parks, our full-time tour director, and then, of course, all of the security for the 24-hour on-tour assistance. There is a tour donation page that's available to you. So it's like a GoFundMe if the students wanted to send this to grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, neighbors, and say, hey, I'm going to Costa Rica. Would you help me raise money for this trip so that I can do it? You get to keep 100% of the donation. So unlike a GoFundMe page that takes a percentage, anything that gets donated through this page will go right onto the student's EF account, which is really incredible. Okay, so paying for your tour. Here is how it breaks down. The total program price starts at $27.45. It's, again, 9-day tour. For the private group, we have a fee of $130. Now that's set at 30 to 34 paying. I expect there's going to be more than that. Now, Costa Rica is not a mandatory trip. Okay, so if for any reason you decide that your child's not going to travel to Costa Rica in 8th grade, that's fine. We have set aside spots for everybody, but they put us at a private group of 30 to 34 just to get started. Once we have 35 students or more traveling, this cost to travel privately actually goes down. So that will be adjusted as we get more enrollments. So please sign up because it will affect everybody's program price. It will bring it down. Global Travel Protection is $165. There's an early enrollment discount right now through February 15th. So that is $200 off the program price when you enroll on the tour before February 15th. I believe it's at 10 p.m. And so the total program price is $29.10. However, IS Denver contributes $1,200 per student in September. So this needs to be part of the 2019-20 academic year budget. So once we get the new school year kicked off this fall, what we'll do is the finance office will send a check to EF Tours with a $1,200 credit for every student that's enrolled. And that will be applied immediately to your account. If you have opted to pay the tour in full, you would get a refund. I'll talk to you about how the pay per month or the payment options work, but you would get that money refunded to you if you pay the tour in full. So your total price is the $2,910 minus the $1,200. So what's that? $1,710. I'm doing this because this is why I'm able to do math this morning. Powered by Starbucks. All right, so $1,710 is the total for your child for the trip. The donation page, as I mentioned to you, is a wonderful resource to use if you choose to. And again, all the contributions will go right onto your balance. So payment options are automatic payment, no fee involved in that. It will be taken out monthly or bi-weekly depending on how you set it up. So the total program price of $2,910 is what your account will show until the school contributes the $1,200. What that means is if you opted for an automatic payment plan, you'd be paying about $200 a month right now. Once the payment goes through from the school in September, your automatic payment will automatically drop down to the new adjusted amount. So just so that you know that. You can pay in full. There's no fee for that also. As I mentioned, if you pay in full, then when the school contributes the $1,200, EF will kick back the money to you as a refund check. Final option is a manual payment plan. It does incur a fee, but you can pay as you want. So you could pay on whatever schedule you decide, but you do have to do that global travel protection plan up front and your $95 fee. So just know that there is a little bit more money involved in doing that, but you could pay just your portion of $1,710 and let the $1,200 sit there until the school pays it. If you wanted to do it that way, that's also an option. So enrollment opens today. Now that you've received this and watched it, you can sign up. So early enrollment discount will close on Friday, February 15th. This is the Friday before our February break. To enroll, you'll need our tour number. Best thing to do is to go right to this website, okay? So you can, from my presentation, I'm not sure, you won't be able to click here, but it's eftours.com and our tour number. I'll actually just put the link in the email to you. So hopefully there'll be the link right there. Let me show you what that website looks like. So it looks like this. When you arrive here, you see the $200 off is open till February 15th. Scroll down, here's my information here, our requested dates, and you can click on the Enroll Now button. This will take you through step by step to establish an EF account. And it's really, really straightforward. I'm not going to go through all the screens with you, but basically entering your name, entering your traveler information, things like that. Okay. You can also call the EF customer service line and tell them you want to enroll on tour number this right here, and they will help you do that over the phone. If for any reason you're not able to put down the deposit right now or you have any concerns, please let me know. I want to get you locked into the lowest price possible. So give me a shout if you need any help at all, and I'm happy to do that for you. All right, so thank you guys for watching. I hope this is more convenient for you than having to come into school for a meeting. I'm so excited to travel with your students next spring. I've been on this trip now 3 times and it's life-changing. So I really hope that you will join me and that your children will join me in traveling next spring. And I thank you guys so much for trusting us with your kiddos' education. This has just been an incredible experience for me. I'm 10 years into being here at IS Denver and loving every single minute of it. So thank you so much again. Let me know if you have any questions.